So if you missed it, we have big news today. Funko stock plummeted 60% in one day. Funko is also implementing more price increases come 2023, as well as their warehouses are full to the brim with Funko Pops due to retailers canceling orders, as well as lowering the amount that they are actually ordering in due to pre-order issues and many other things. But we do have some good news. Funko sales are technically up, and let me explain why. So let's jump into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the status of Funko. I've been getting a lot of requests to do this video, so yeah, let's jump into it. This is a lot to talk about, to be honest. A lot is going on here. Why their stock plummeted 60%, why collectors are freaking out, why investors are freaking out. Again, it is a lot to tackle here. Of course though, before we jump into all that, we do have our question of the day, and that is, how do you guys feel about Funko right now as a company, their products that they produce, versus when you first started collecting? Now, I do want to let you guys know beforehand, before I start talking about all of this is going to be a lot more logistical. This is going to be a lot of like words I'm throwing at you about the state of Funko. This isn't going to be your typical Funko news where I'm talking about Funko Pop products and, oh my god, this one's pretty and this one looks really cool. It's literally going to be talking about the state of the company. So for my younger audience, this will probably be a little bit more boring, and this is more directed towards my older audience. So the other day, while me and Bailey were out house hunting and looking for the next house that we were going to move into, I got a bunch of different notifications on my phone from multiple different news pages. Funko stock is down, all these problems are arising, and literally their stock, guys, went down nearly 60%. Like, I could not believe my eyes when I was looking on my Robinhood app and just seeing how fast it was tanking by dollar, by dollar, by dollar, all the way to under $8. Eventually it bounced back a little bit, going back to like $10. However, it is currently sitting at under $8. Now, why did this happen and why are people freaking out? So that same day, I believe Funko had their Q3 financial call here, and they were just talking about the state of the company. They were talking about how much money they made, and I'm not going to bore you with all that, but to sum it up, essentially, their sales were technically up 37%, I think they said. However, even though their sales were up, they incurred so many different moving fees. Like when they moved to Arizona, their big warehouse needed a lot of attention because they had this new system in place. However, it wasn't working, so they had increased labor costs, they had increased equipment costs, on top of the fact that they were actually experiencing a lot more shipping costs due to freight basically being a lot more than it used to be. And I know you guys are absolutely tired of hearing the excuse from Funko, hey, the pandemic caused a lot of these issues, which technically it did, and they're basically trying their best to bounce back from that. Now, I did listen to this 40-minute conference call, and if I'm not mistaken, they did state that they incurred about $7 million in extra cost in this move to this warehouse because their new product placement or their warehouse system wasn't exactly functioning as it was supposed to, and that's not set to fully function until well into 2024, maybe halfway into the year. So all that means is that $7 million is only the start of their current costs, because this happened in one quarter, and they're talking about it happening well into 2 quarters of the next year. So that cost could double maybe. As you guys do know, Funko introduced a lot of different products between 2021 and 2022, like their new Popsy line, or their Funko Gold line, or their Funko Leader lines. And in my opinion, out of those 3 products, the Funko Leaders probably sell the best and are the most attractive to the average consumer, because you gotta consider the fact that Funko sodas are already so popular. So essentially, Funko Leader sodas are piggybacking off the success of Funko sodas. The weird thing was, though, they were saying Funko Popsies and Funko Gold were showing a strong performance. However, when I go to any store, whether it's Box Lunch, Walmart, or Target, I always see the shelves full of these products. And to my knowledge, Walmart is the only place that does actually sell Funko Popsies outside of like pre-orders from other retailers online. I've never really seen Funko Popsies in any other retail store location. And again, they're stating that it was showing a strong performance, and they actually plan to expand the Funko Popsies section at Walmart. I don't see how that's possible, given every single Walmart I've been to, I've seen an overstock of those Funko Popsies. So I don't know if I necessarily believe the fact that they are selling as well as they are stating. I think they're just trying to push them more, in my opinion, which of course, they want to push that product, but I just don't think they're hitting the target goal that they're actually saying. Because I know a lot of you guys will agree with me that it's a weird product, it's very, very new, and it's very niche in my opinion to a very specific kind of collector. I just don't see myself buying a surplus of these like I would Funko Pops. I have one that I've bought ever. So that is one of my questions for you guys. How do you guys feel about Funko Popsies and Funko Gold? Because Funko Leader, again, it's piggybacking off of that Funko Soda success, so it doesn't really have an issue. But Funko Popsies and Gold are a completely different thing in my opinion. Probably contributing a lot next to their Funko Pop and Funko Soda lines was their Funko NFTs, and they had a lot to say about this. They stated that some drops would earn them $500 million alone, all the way up to $1 million just for one drop. So when they're earning that much money and they only have a few thousand redeemable Funko Pops they actually have to make, of course they're going to continue with the Funko Digital. And if you don't fully understand what the Funko NFTs are, essentially think of Pokemon cards where you're opening it to pull that rare Charizard card. It's the same concept, where you're opening these packs in hopes of pulling the Funko redeemable pop. And there's only a certain amount, and that's why everybody jumps on these packs to try to pull them. Now, they talked about international areas like Europe and Asia, where they were trying to grow more in those markets, which I think is a fantastic thing. I would love for them to get more international and interact with those style of fans and try to bring them more products. Because I get the complaints all the time from multiple different people all across the globe that they don't get certain pops in their area. So I really like that Funko is trying to grow in different areas and bring those collectibles to you, and hopefully they keep to that. Something else they're trying to do to cut costs is actually source other places in Asia where they can actually get cheaper production, as well as they've already made cheaper deals currently. And according to Funko, leading into Q4, which is these last few months of this year, the shipping costs should go down a little bit, but they haven't taken place just yet. So essentially, they are trying to explore all their options to cut down costs and increase revenue. Now here's where it gets tricky though, and this is where the drama comes in. They are trying to implement price increases to help increase the revenue and help cover all of the costs that they are incurring. And if you don't remember, I believe MSRP for a Funko Pop before the original price increase a couple months ago or halfway into this year, it was something like that, earlier into this year basically, but essentially it was like $8.99 I think for the original MSRP, jumping up to $11.99. So obviously a pretty decent jump. But as collectors, I like to think most of us banded together and we're like, okay, if this is what they need to do to save the company and continue to bring us these awesome products and all these new things, okay, sure, we can deal with a little bit of a price increase. Of course, the big issue there was that we were in a pandemic and they were increasing the prices of the product we love. A lot of people are out of jobs, still looking for jobs, and making a lot less money, essentially. At the same time, though, Funko did get a huge boost from those stimulus checks going around where they were trying to stimulate the economy back up. Something else they stated on the conference call about the price increase, the original one, was the fact that they were very careful and cautious with how much they raised the price, because I don't think they were very confident with how consumers would take it. And obviously, if you were there and a collector, it was a 50-50 split on how people felt about this. But basically, they wanted to raise the price originally even more, so we could have seen a $15 common back then, but of course, with another price increase, it's very possible that that MSRP at $11.99 could go to $14.99, and every common now will be $15 going forward, which also raises the price at all these different retailers, like Hot Topic, for example. Their Hot Topic exclusives were $12.50. However, if their common pops are going to be $11.99, their exclusives can't just be 50 cents more, so they raised them to $14.90. So essentially, Hot Topic exclusives are already $15. That means they'll probably go to $17 to $18 with this next price increase. And that's just Hot Topic. You have other companies that charge anywhere from $20 to $25 for their exclusives, which obviously is definitely a steep price. And this doesn't stop at your 4-inch standard pops, guys. This is going to affect 6-inch pops, Funko Sodas, Funko NFT packs probably. Those prices might raise up as well, so they can make more money on those. Funko Moments, Funko 10-inch. Basically, every single Funko product is going to be affected by this price increase and go up even more. 10-inch pops are already $40, so they might even be $45 to $50 next. Don't worry though, I do want to do a whole separate video on Funko Pop pricing and how some of the prices at different retailers have definitely been a little crazy lately. Now, backtracking earlier to what they stated was that shipping costs are going down moving into Q4. Okay, that's one thing. On top of them sourcing other factories that can produce their product a lot cheaper over in Asia, as well as them implementing a bunch of different new systems in their warehouse in Arizona to basically lower the cost of labor and lower the cost of equipment and make everything more efficient. So they're trying to bring down costs, but they're bringing the costs up to the consumer on us and raising the prices of Funko Pops again. And as I stated in my original video of the price increase, essentially they're pushing the price onto the consumer. That's all it is at the end of the day. So it's not as simple as Funko needing the money to continue making the products we love anymore. They're literally looking to lower the cost of production and logistics, but still raising the price on us. So that's just something to take away from this video that I don't feel like a lot of people are realizing. The reason a price increase is very bad for Funko as a company is because Funko was really well known for having a really cool collectible for a really, really good price. And the more you raise that price, the more collectors are going to get out of this hobby because eventually it's going to become too expensive. Because where originally most places sell commons for $9.99, that's $10 a piece, you buy 5 of them, you get them for 50 bucks. Nowadays, you buy 5 commons, you're getting them for $60. You're paying $10 more. Essentially, you could be getting another common, but you're not. Another huge issue that I think caused the plummet of their stock is the fact that they talked about how their warehouses are full of overstock. They didn't use the word overstock, they just said stock essentially, but that's what it is. Let's face it, it's overstock of overproduced products. And this is also due to retailers canceling their orders and lowering how much they're ordering from Funko due to supply chain issues. Because I can't tell you how many companies have talked to me and told me how frustrated they are with Funko and the supply issues and not getting their products on time, which causes problems at their business, overworks their customer service, makes their customers angry at them, and they're losing customers in the process on top of all of it. So while Funko may be upset that this is costing them money, it's also costing all of these smaller mom and pop shops a lot of money. And something I noticed, I think, is due to this factor of the whole pre-order situation in the last 2 years, where a lot of companies have been moving more towards selling like collections and buying in collections and selling those older vaulted and grail Funko Pops versus focusing on the new common pre-orders. Now, since retailers are shortening their orders and canceling their orders and Funko's left with all this extra stock, their plan to combat this is to offer significant discounts leading into 2023 in hopes that they will purchase this stock. Now, a lady on this conference call did ask a very important question of Funko that they didn't really answer in my opinion, but they gave some kind of answer, but even telling you guys, it wasn't something I fully understood. Essentially though, she asked the question of, is Funko producing and sending out more product than the stores are actually selling? And in the short answer, yes they are, but that's not how they answered it. And while she was very aggressive in her asking, I do personally think she was asking the right questions that nobody else was asking. Now, the reason I'm stating that this might be true is because the proof is in the stock and inventory at these stores. We're always seeing these same items over and over and over again at Walmart, at Target, at Hot Topic. You're seeing an overstock and a surplus of the same thing. So much to the point that they are outsourcing to other companies like Five Below or Burlington Coat Factory, where they're receiving in Funko Pops. They have never been known for Funko Pops before, but all of a sudden they're getting in Funko Pops and selling them at discounted rates. To give you the short answer as to why these Pops are showing up at these discount style stores is because Funko wholesaled them at a really, really good price to get rid of this stock. Or Funko wholesaled it to another company and those companies wholesaled it to Five Below, basically. If you need more proof, why do you think they're repackaging commons into 4-packs? Because they have such a surplus amount of stock that they made that they can't sell through, that they want to sell it to you as an exclusive 4-pack later on, and it's something new that people are buying, and it's obviously working because they keep doing it. Another big issue that I've been talking about a lot in the last few weeks is Funko selling other retailer exclusives on the Funko shop. This to me makes no sense personally because we experienced this with Miguel the other day where they sold probably a couple thousand of Miguel's of the Box Lunch exclusive on their website before it even released at Box Lunch. That is completely weird to sell another retailer's exclusive ahead of them. And this isn't the only exclusive that they've sold on their website. They've sold Xbox exclusives, they sold Chalice Collectibles exclusive, Target exclusives, Hot Topic exclusives. Like, why are you selling these other retailers exclusives? And to put it in perspective for you guys, these companies that are getting all these exclusives like Chalice or Hot Topic or Box Lunch, they have to sell $1 million worth of product to get their first exclusive. However, I do believe in recent years that has actually increased to $2 million in sales. So it's double of what it once was. So imagine being one of those companies and doing all that work to sell $1 million to $2 million of product. just for them to go and sell your product on their website and profit from that. Now, my theory as to why they do this is because they have so much overstock and retailers are canceling the restock orders or the orders in general, and they're starting to sell it on their website so they can get rid of it because the retailers don't want it. And if that's not why they're doing it, then I have no clue. It's really bad when they actually make it a double exclusive, like the Master Chief, for example, that was an Xbox Shop exclusive, and then they took off the Xbox sticker, slapped on the Funko Shop sticker, and then resold it. For the life of me, I will not understand why they feel the need to do double exclusives, like some of the recent Crunchyroll and GameStop exclusives. Why is it exclusive to two different places with two different stickers? The only exception, in my opinion, should be Comic-Con, where they have the shared and official sticker at the event. And speaking of Comic-Con, they actually did have some things to say about SDCC and NYCC. They did go on to state that it was very, very successful. NYCC being much more successful than SDCC, which I don't really know why they're bragging about that like they are, because NYCC had 55 exclusives and SDCC had a significant less amount of exclusives, so obviously NYCC was going to do better. They also went on to state that the biggest complaint they had was stock issues, and they couldn't keep up with the amount of people that were actually at their booth. I don't know about you guys, but there were a lot more issues at NYCC than just stock issues, so I don't know why they didn't address any of that, but their stock might have went to zero if they actually did, so I guess it's probably good they didn't mention all those other issues. I have a whole video on that if you guys want to check out all the issues that happened in NYCC that they chose to ignore in this conference call. My only gripe with them stating that their product couldn't handle the demand of people wanting it was the fact that this was very limited to very specific exclusives, like Luffy with Going Merry and a few other ones. All the other ones weren't really selling out, to the point on the last day, Sunday, where they actually upped the limit from 1 each to 5 each just to get the stock sold. And in my opinion, when you up the limit to 5 per person per style of the pops, you're only encouraging scalpers at that point. But that's a whole nother issue. I just thought it was weird that they were basically highlighting the fact that we were so successful we couldn't keep up with the demand, but it was very limited to specific exclusives, in my opinion at least. Also, you probably couldn't handle the demand because you didn't have all your stock there in the first place. So yeah, that's everything going on with Funko right now, the good and the bad. Let me know how you guys feel about this situation. Let me know your thoughts and opinions after listening to everything I just said. I'm sorry, I know it was a lot of information to absorb, but I feel like this is something definitely that we should talk about. Now, obviously, it is no surprise that I don't agree with everything Funko does. Obviously, I've been very vocal about it on this channel for the last 5 years. But I'm also obviously a big Funko Pop fan and a big fan of Funko and the products they produce. So a lot of this is coming from being a fan personally. So while I may not agree with everything they do, I'm always going to be a fan of their product because I love it. I love talking about it. I love having a job about it. It's fun to me. I love all these little figures that stare at me when I make these videos and stare at me when I'm editing. Like, I have a love for the product, and I don't want to see that product fail. So it's important to talk about these things, whether it's good or bad. One of my biggest issues that I have with Funko as a company is that there is no accountability for anything that goes on. At Comic-Con, for example, a Funko NFT drop, anything. They never address anything. They give cheap apologies during high stressful drops. Like, they need more accountability. They need to say sorry in a way that actually means something to the collectors and fans, and not just offer disappointment after disappointment after disappointment on certain drops. Certain drops go really well, but a majority lately in this last year have not gone well for a majority of the fans. I get it though. From their standpoint, it's bad to address these things. It makes their stock go down and they lose money. They might even lose fans if the fans don't like their apology. However, they gotta find some way to address these problems and make it seem like they care, because sometimes it really doesn't seem like they do. And at the end of the day, without their fans and consumers, they're nothing as a company, and they're gonna go bankrupt as a company. Just like me, without you guys watching my videos, liking them, commenting on them, and just subscribing essentially, my channel's nothing without an audience, without consumers. And I do feel like in recent years they have forgotten some of their family values, I guess is the best way I can put it. Alright guys, that's everything that I have to say on this topic. I have talked your ear off enough. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you kind of took something away from it. Hopefully you learned something from it. And again, drop your comments down below and how you feel about this entire situation. Now, I do want to say a big shout out to all the Patreon supporters of the channel. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate your love and support. If you guys want to check out the Patreon and help support the channel, check out the links down below. We do have a Patreon-only Discord where we share a lot lot of information. News, restocks, updates, links, and more. We also have a Facebook group with over 15,000 members that's buy, sell, and trade. And make sure to be following me on all my social medias at Skittlerampage over on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and my Facebook page to stay up to date. Alright, love you guys. See you guys in the next one. See you guys later. Bye.